Thousands of Arizona families develop multi-generational cancers living downwind of nuclear test sites or working in the uranium industry. Many victims were excluded from a federal compensation program, while those eligible worry that the program will soon expire. For more on this, we welcome Matthew Keppelby from the Downwinders of Mohave County and Justin Ahasteen, the Executive Director of the Navajo Nation office in Washington, D.C. Good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Let's start in Mohave County. Matthew, we'll start with you. Give me a definition of a downwinder.
I'm a third-generation resident of Mohave County, born and raised in Kingman. And Kingman in Mohave County is located roughly 90 miles as the crow flies from the Nevada test site, where the nuclear testing took place during the Cold War. There were multiple, over 150, I believe, above-ground tests where the meteorologist at the test site would wait for the wind to blow from west to east. So the nuclear fallout and all of the associated radiation would fall in northern Arizona and southern Utah in the Four Corners region. That was out of concern that they didn't want the fallout to fall onto the populated areas in California. So the poor people, the Native Americans, the ranchers, the rural folks up there suffered for the sake of our national security.
Talk about that suffering, especially on the reservation in the nation. I mean, we've heard about this for years. Tell us what happened.
Sure. So, I think the issue dates all the way back to the 40s when World War II first took place. Over half of the domestic supply of uranium that was mined within the United States actually came from the Navajo Nation. And it was the Navajo miners who were actually mining all of the radioactive material in order to build the atomic bomb, as well as to advance the U.S.'s nuclear agenda during the Cold War. So we had people who fought in World War II, and we always say Navajos have demonstrated their patriotism over and over again. Mm-hmm. And the unfortunate part is that their contributions have not been recognized until very recently. Even with the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, there's a whole class of people who have been excluded, and those are those who worked in the mines post-1971. So with 30 years or so of uranium mining, we've developed significant cancer rates. People have been affected, and it's just turning into an issue where we can't manage. And this program is supposed to be there to help folks. And again, Navajo miners who worked, Navajo veterans who served in the war, continuing their patriotism, would come back and work in the mines to continue to advance the U.S.'s national security interests.
Yeah, and you talk about cancer rates. Kingman, does it still have the highest cancer rate in Arizona?
It does, from what I understand. The genetic damage is passed on from generation to generation once someone's been exposed to that lethal amount of radiation. That was often the case post the nuclear test that occurred at the test site.
As far as recognition and compensation, what have you seen? And what have you seen? What do you want to see?
Well, it's been a long, difficult journey. In 1990, Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah created the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. While well-intended, it was tremendously flawed, very narrow in its focus, didn't include the area around Las Vegas. It didn't include Mohave County. It didn't include large swaths of southern Utah and areas of northern Arizona, and which we never understood. So we've been trying to correct this for 30 years. And it's not a matter of compensation, it's a matter of justice, that the people in these regions that were impacted suffered and died for the sake of our national security, and we need to see that rectified.
Yeah, and Justin, again, I think the one-time payment was something along the lines of $50,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. What do you want to see as far as this maybe being expanded? What do you want to see?
So we really want to see this expanded to address the people who have been left out, the post-71 workers. But even then, the work doesn't stop there. We're talking about families who were directly exposed because these folks would come home, they would have uranium yellow cake on them. We're talking, on the reservation where access to services are very limited, and there's not like every household has a washer or dryer or anything like that. People were hand washing these in local water supplies. People were exposed. People were building their homes out of the tailings. And so this has caused a huge issue. Those who aren't eligible under the program or those who were directly and adversely affected by the workers coming home and being exposed, the there was a birthing cohort that was done too, and that identified that as women continued to give birth, the newborns were actually having traces of uranium left in them as well, and it's also created genetic mutations, and those people are not covered under the program.
So you want to see more coverage expanded on the program. What are you hearing from Arizona's congressional delegation? Is there a movement afoot? What's happening out there?
So Congressman Crane has actually been very supportive of the entire issue. He recognizes that the country did wrong by the test that took place. What we haven't heard from is Congressman Schweikert, Debbie Lesko, and Andy Biggs, all who haven't really taken a position on the issue, and we've met with them on several occasions.
Any reason why they're not taking it? Are they just simply not responding?
I think it simply comes down to what they feel is the cost and whether or not it's something that America should justify. And we take really big offense to that.
I was going to say, what do you think about that, Matt?
Very much. Again, for the last 30 years, we've been summarily dismissed in our efforts regarding any type of compensation or recognition regarding this. And mostly it boils down to cost. And in our regard, we believe that this is the cost of our national security. This is the cost of doing business. And we need to take care of the people that suffered due to that.
Last question here. Are you optimistic something can get done?
I'm always hopeful. But like I said, it's been a long journey. I am the sole surviving member of the board of directors of the Downwinders of Mohave County. All of our other board members have passed due to related cancers.
Wow.
It's just been a long, slow tragedy, and it's time that this be rectified. The compensation is a drop in the bucket compared to what the people have spent on their cancer treatments. The woman that was our board director, our chair, she passed away last year. Between her and her husband, the overall cancer treatment costs were over $3 million, just between the two of them.
Justin, we got like 15 seconds left here. Are you optimistic?
Again, we're very hopeful. We haven't seen this advance as much as it has this congressional session, so we're going to continue to work on it, and we're going to continue to push for justice for our Navajo uranium miners and all those affected. Well,
thank you again for coming from Washington. We really appreciate speaking with you and having you on the show. Matt, you as well.
Thank you,
best of luck to both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.